Loud. Okay, can you hear me, Alicia? Okay, I'm going to start admitting people. There's 4 in here. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start in 2 minutes. Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Brenda Burr. I'm the DHS Program Coordinator. Alicia Christopher is on the call. She will be monitoring our chat box. So if you have any questions, just make sure to put that in the chat box, and then she'll message you back. If you have a way to put on your video, just so we can see your smiling faces, that would be great. So we'll go ahead and get started. I did go ahead and put my information in the chat box along with Kayla's and Cindy's and Alicia's, as well as some additional phone numbers in there as well. Okay. And I just wanted to let everybody know that our next quarterly training will be on April the 25th. Just make sure to put any questions that you have in the chat box. So let's get started. Who needs a background check? When it comes to facilities accepting DCF foster children, you will need one. A criminal is needed as well. And then the FBI is a one-time. All background checks must be approved in the online background check system before an applicant may begin working. This includes out-of-state child maltreatment results. For all other placement and residential facilities, it's every 2 years for your maltreatment. And for volunteers as well, your criminals every 5 years. And for volunteers, it's as for every 5 years as well. The FBI is one time. So regardless of the type of facilities, all staff and volunteers must have an FBI check completed one time. This is per facility. So if the applicant goes to another facility, they will have to complete a new FBI check. Prohibited offenses, permanently prohibited offenses. These are some that are listed in the reg book. It's not all inclusive. Abuse of an endangered or impaired person, if felony, arson, capital murder, endangering the welfare of an incompetent person in the first degree, kidnapping, murder in the first or second degree, rape, sexual assault in the first or second. Prohibited offenses, theft of property, aggravated assault, domestic battery in the first, second, or third, forgery, robbery, or aggravated robbery, theft by receiving, stalking, and then possession of drugs and firearms at the same time. Offenses listed here are prohibited if they are a felony. the applicant may be eligible if the offense is a misdemeanor and 5 years from the conviction date, and there have been no criminal convictions or pleas of guilty or nolo contendere of any type or nature during the 5-year period preceding the background check. For a full list, make sure to check the requirement book. Okay, all PRLU programs must use the online criminal background check system. The background check through the online system includes the following: the state criminal background check, state sex offender registry check, federal criminal background check, if selected, and the national sex offender registry check. Providers must register for a subscription account with INA in order to run background checks. The cost is $150 annually, and there is a website link right there for you. You must submit a separate online child maltreatment registry check request for each employee. This is completed through Central Registry, and that number is listed in the chat box. Okay, now we're going to go to a step-by-step guide. Step 1, you will complete a request for criminal background check electronic form. Make sure that you select the correct reason for the background check from the drop-down menu. For the child welfare, you'll select either placement in residential agencies, foster parent, or adoptive. After you click submit form, a copy of your completed request for criminal background check form will be emailed to the address you provided as a PDF document. The PDF will contain 3 pages. The first page will be the information you submitted electronically. The second page will be the notary page. And then the third page will have the Privacy Act on it. Step 2, log into your account to start your background check request. You'll have your username and password that you will have to put in order to log in. Once you are logged into your account, you will click on the search tab. This is where you will fill out the applicant information. It is a good idea to have a copy of the applicant's driver's license while you complete this section. You need to be sure the information you enter here matches what is on the driver's license of your potential employee. If this information does not match, they will be turned away from being fingerprinted. In turn, their background check will not be processed. You will upload your consent form here, and you will select the purpose as CHW for child welfare. Some providers may have multiple purposes. If you serve multiple different agencies, be sure you are selecting the correct purpose for that applicant's employment. In some instances, you may have to submit the same applicant under multiple purpose types, such as child welfare and DDS. Please be aware the next option allows you to decide if you will submit the state only or both the federal and state. If you select the state only, you will only have 2 weeks to go back and complete the federal request before it is no longer active. I would recommend doing them both at the same time unless you're only renewing the applicant's state request. Remember, all staff must have a federal request submitted at least one time during employment. The next step is important. Review your work. Please take a few seconds to review the information you have submitted. You can go back to step 1 if you see something you made an error on. If you do not review this and you continue to submit an application that has errors, you will not be reimbursed when you must submit a duplicate entry if you do have that. Once you verify information is correct, submit your information and you will receive a confirmation page with your search ID and transaction number. Please keep these numbers where they are easily accessible for the next step. So make sure that if the information here is not accurate, that you go back and make sure that it is correct, because we don't want you to be charged again. Before you schedule the potential employee's fingerprints, please go into your pending tab and be sure that you are not showing here. This means that the Arkansas State Police are still processing the state criminal results. Until they are complete and moved over to your history tab, they will not be able to be fingerprinted. This rarely happens. However, if they have lived out of state or have incorrect information in the system, it can take additional time for the Arkansas State Police to find their information. Once your applicant is in the history section, you are ready to schedule the fingerprinting appointment. Please visit the scheduling website here on the screen. Select your location, then your date and time. Please input the applicant's personal information, then you will enter your transaction number. This will be CHW00 followed by 7 digits. If you were resubmitting prints due to a rejection notice, you would schedule the prints the same way. However, your E number that comes in your rejection notice would go here. The last step we will discuss is to submit the Arkansas Maltreatment Registry check. This request is processed by the Central Registry and can be completed by following the link here. You will need to complete this request, get it notarized, and upload it. When you are completing this section, please be sure to list 5 years of residency, and if the applicant has lived out of the state within the last 5 years, make sure to click yes. Be sure to select the second option that says you are a potential or current employee of a child care facility or residential facility for children and youth licensed by Arkansas Department of Human Services. If you do not check this option, our unit will not be able to view the results, and this will delay your checks from being completed. If you know your applicant has lived out of the state of Arkansas in the last 5 years, be sure you have initiated those required checks. Let's talk more about out-of-state requirements. If a potential employee has lived out of Arkansas in the last 5 years, they must complete child maltreatment checks from all of the states they have lived in during that period. For example, if you are submitting an applicant and they have lived in Texas last year and in Montana for the year before that, you will need to complete the required checks for both of those states. You can find information for each state by following the link here to the Interstate Child Care Background Check contact list. We also have an online database on our website. We do our best to keep this up to date. Please keep in mind that child welfare facilities do not have to complete the criminal request for the out-of-state applicants. It's only the maltreatment. There are some special conditions when it comes to out-of-state results. For Tennessee and Oklahoma, the regulatory unit will complete that for you. On California, no records are required. It's a closed record state. For Arizona, you will complete the child abuse and neglect. The background check unit has created a list of instructions and contact information for each state. You can use the link above to go to our website. When you select the state from the drop-down menu, you will find information needed to complete your request. No results are needed for applicants that have resided out of the country in the last 5 years. However, they still need to list those addresses on their Arkansas child maltreatment request when that's being submitted. If the state requires information be sent directly to an agency, please use the information above. On the PowerPoint, it has our mailing address there. The results will then come straight to our email. If you or the applicant receives the results, please forward those on to the background check email address that's provided on the PowerPoint. Again, please visit our website where you will find information about resources for out-of-state. If you have any questions regarding the out-of-state process, please contact our unit at 682-8590, area code 501, or you can also email that email address that's listed. What do the statuses mean? At a pending status, that means the check is in process. At provisional, that means the state criminal has been completed and the applicant needs to complete the fingerprint process and also the Arkansas child maltreatment request. This applicant may also be awaiting the out-of-state results, so make sure that you submit those to those states. Applicants who have been sent a letter requesting further documentation from us will also be left in a provisional state. On approved, all components of the background check are complete if it says approved. If it says not approved, the applicant is not eligible to work. This can be because of documentation being incorrect, or the applicant does have a disqualifying offense. Make sure if you have any questions on a not approved status, please give us a call and we will help you with that. And to obtain the results, you can print screen your screen to obtain that overall status for your records. Here are a few of our final reminders. Please be sure that all information submitted to NYCAR is correct. Your applicant will not be fingerprinted if the information does not match their ID and passport. Providers accepting DCFS foster children may not allow applicants to begin until they are in an approved status. Make sure all information is correct before submitting it. When it comes to the date and name of birth, if that information is not correct in the system, the fingerprint technician will not be able to fingerprint. Please notify the background check unit if you no longer have an employee that's employed with you that are still in a provisional status, and we can update that for you. When emailing the background check unit, please include the applicant's search ID number. Please do not put their name or social or birthdays in an email. The search ID number is the only thing that you need to put in there. Applicants working in placement and residential agencies must have the federal portion of the background check completed at least one time at your agency. And here are the numbers for our unit. That's the main line, the INA subscription account to get an account set up. If you have any problems or questions about the system, it's not working for you, that number is listed. And to obtain the Arkansas Child Maltreatment results, Central Registry's phone number is there. As always, please contact us if you have any questions. We are here to help. If you receive a notification that DHS will do more research or see that your applicant is in your pending tab after being submitted, this means that Arkansas State Police is doing manual research. This rarely happens, but it can be due to incorrect information or because the applicant has lived out of state recently. Typically, these will be out of your pending section within 24 to 72 hours. If you believe there is an incorrect delay, please contact our unit for more information. Some possible delays in the system could be because there's an incorrect or wrong consent form, missing signatures, or the dates are wrong on the consent form. There's duplicate entries. The notary date does not match the applicant's date on that second page that you upload. These all will cause unsatisfactory results. Once the applicant is in a provisional status, possible delays can include fingerprints not being completed, fingerprints were rejected. The federal report requires additional information from the applicant. The Arkansas Child Maltreatment has not been submitted, or it has been submitted under the wrong reason. If your background check is returned with a non-satisfactory result within 24 to 72 hours after submitting it, please check the attached documents section in NYCAR to see if your consent form has errors. If you have submitted an error, please email us a correct consent form and we will upload that for you. Make sure to include the search ID number as well. You will not need to duplicate the entry. The only time you would resubmit an applicant is if the name or date of birth is incorrect in NYCAR. If you would like a copy of this PowerPoint, please be sure to include your email address in the chat box. We do thank you for joining us today. Are there any questions that any of you may have? If so, please place that in the chat box. Okay, there was a question in here about the presentation. Yes, that will be emailed to the providers that put their email address in the chat box. Do we have any other questions on the call today? Okay, our next training will be in April. So if you want to join us on that call, or if you want to get the word out and share the information for providers to get on that call, we would appreciate it. We appreciate you being here and joining us today. Hopefully this was some useful information. And if you do have any questions after the call, I did put our information in the chat box. So reach out to Alicia or myself. We are in the office today. Cindy is not, and Kayla is in and out today in meetings. So we appreciate you all being on the call today, and you all have a good rest of your day.